here at the moment in the press lounge with Len, one of the organizers for the entire event that you guys are seeing around us now. We're going to ask you a few questions. As you guys know, I like to do things on the fly. So we're going to ask weird questions, random questions, and some questions about the expo, obviously. I mean, that's what we're here for. So here we're going to ask just some nice little questions to see what happens at this event every year. Right. Hi, Len. Firstly, I mean, it's been 15 years. You guys have grown to one of the largest technology expos in the world, or well, not in the world, in Southern Africa. How do you feel about that?
That we want to dominate the world at some point.
I'm sure everyone wants to dominate the world. I mean, look at Pinky and the Brain,
100%.
perfect example.
Yeah, or Pac-Man.
Or Pac-Man, yes, eating little eggs of all the ghosts. um, so how did you guys come up with the idea of actually starting the entire idea of Rage?
Playing games. Really, it's just wanting to get a group of guys to play and compete, and competitiveness comes naturally with gaming.
Yeah.
Um, and then, you know, you need a device, a computer, headphones, keyboard, mouse, peripherals
Hmm.
to play and compete. And so it's a natural progression, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Um, and did we think it would be this big? Hell yes, no. But yeah, I mean, we're very blessed, very, very blessed. 15 years of awesome.
Yeah.
Rage is really awesome gaming event, you know. So,
It has been for
um,
many years, yes.
every year, at least, you know, one of my interviews, I have people ask me, you know, how do we top this for next year? What can we look forward to for next year? And I really don't know. I, it's just, you know, we're a technology show,
Yeah.
a geeky technology amazing show.
Yes.
So there's so many elements to it. It's not like you go to a motor show, for example, and yeah, there are really cool cars to see and whatnot. Um, but you might be only interested in a particular brand.
Yeah.
Here, people come to the show, and there's so many cool things. Whether you have never done cosplay, for example,
Mm.
you'll look at the cosplay characters and go, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
And sometimes you go, you know. So
Yeah,
um,
some of them are really crazy. Yeah, they
some of
really
them are
are
really crazy.
really
So,
crazy.
but you know, I take my hat off to them. You know,
Yeah.
here's a funny story. So my son 2 years ago decided he wants to do cosplay. Like,
Okay.
okay, I mean, it's not like I do any party dressing around my house. Well, I probably had a onesie party now every now and then. But yeah, so yeah, yesterday morning, he obviously came with me
Yeah.
yesterday again today, and we get here early, 6:30 we here, and so he got his makeup and dress up he did here, you know.
Yeah.
I walked right past him yesterday. I honestly did not recognize my own son. He's dressed up like some weird person, and I mean, it looks awesome, but I didn't
You just
recognize my own
reckon?
son. No clue. So, and that's awesome. That's
Yes, it is.
fantastic. I mean, I immediately phoned the wife and said, "I won't believe what just happened." Maybe that was self-preservation because, you know, just in case he goes home and he says, "My dad walked right past me and didn't," you know. But um, so, but yeah, so there's so many various elements that make up Rage.
Yeah.
The esports side of it, as I said, is probably where it emanated from, where
Yeah.
the birth of Rage, you
Okay.
know, was through esports.
Yeah.
Which I mean, then we didn't know it was esports.
It
There
was
was no,
just landing.
it was just landing. It was just, yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
compete in a
Yeah.
LAN, you know. So, um, and I remember the first LAN that we put together at the Dome was we were concerned about what subnet talks to what subnet. You know, it's like, how
Yeah.
can we actually go over the 254 IP addresses on this subnet?
Yeah.
And what subnet talks to what subnet? I mean, it was
It was
like breaking
insane.
the sound barrier. It
Yeah.
was just, and the cool thing is watching companies like HP, who have through the years supported us tremendously with the networking equipment.
Yeah.
Um, and now it's Aruba, which is the HP brand, and Intel with their servers. And I'm not just plugging them for the sake of plugging them. It's just it's
No, it's perfectly
without
fine.
without without that backbone, we don't have anything, you know. So
Exactly. That's why it's perfectly fine. I don't
exactly.
mind.
So what we're finding now is that guys like Aruba, HP, and Intel are
Yeah.
actually using this a yardstick in a way to test some of their networking capabilities. And you
Yeah.
know, I'm not saying that
And it's good
it,
testing.
it pushes
Jeez,
it, eh?
I see how
It
many landers
data
you guys have this year. Upstairs, downstairs, it's insane.
2,000, and you know that those 2,000 tickets sold out in 3 minutes.
In 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Jeez, like,
So the
it's
amount
insane.
of emails that we received after the tickets went on sale, stories like, well, I bought the tickets, printed it out, or I got it from CompuTickets, and then my mom washed my jeans, or this, and now it's gone. And can I, like, and you
You're like,
do you have proof of payment? Do you have
not
this, that,
sure.
whatever? And then the phone call never comes back, or the email's not returned. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's yeah, but yeah,
Very
I mean
creative ways of doing it.
yeah, for sure, for sure. But we have funny stories.
Yeah.
And yeah, so last year we had 35,000 visitors,
Jeez, like,
uh,
it's insane.
and yeah, hopefully the guys liked us enough last year
Yeah,
to
well,
attend again.
it's huge. I mean, I'm looking at the floor now, and it's insane. I mean, the amount of people that are there. We've been struggling to walk around to get to the
Yeah,
stores so that we can start videoing and
yeah,
interviewing.
yeah.
It's insane. There's a lot of people here.
Well, we really want to make sure that the people that visit here have a fantastic experience.
Yes.
So, you know, if you want, I can go and buy a wheelchair or something, and I'll wheel you around to give
No,
you
no,
a good experience.
no, no. My legs work just fine. I
No,
promise.
no. You know, obviously it's a big concern
Yes.
that you know, health and safety is very much a
Yes,
part
of
of it.
course,
We
of
want to make
course.
sure that people are safe when walking the aisles. So we
Yeah.
keep increasing the size or the width of the aisles.
Yeah.
But the trouble is that
You do that,
the
more people come
exhibitors,
in.
well, yes, and the exhibitors are saying, no, you're not going to make my stand smaller, you know,
Yeah.
because I need this amount of space to showcase all these products.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
You gotta make compromises along
yeah,
the way. And I understand.
yeah,
Makes perfect sense.
yeah.
So a couple of questions I'm gonna shoot. You've literally, without even asking the questions, you've answered everything I wanted to
Oh,
ask. So that was brilliant. That
well,
was
it's because I
absolutely
was
awesome.
nervous about the questions you're going to ask me.
So you made me
Yeah,
shoot
just like
past all of them. Yeah, but they're pretty standard questions. Now, though, it's going to go into the geeky side of things.
okay.
So I'm going to ask you a few geeky
Am I going
questions.
to get zoned out?
Well, it depends. I mean, if you zone out, it might be your own fault.
Yeah, there's some water, you can splash me with it.
Okay, so it's just a couple of nice little geeky questions. We like our fans to see that the people we do interview are actually geeks as well, and that you
Yeah,
guys aren't just doing this
yeah.
for money and all that. You're actually doing it because you love it. Okay, so the questions that I'm going to ask you is the first question. This is the big question. The big question.
Okay.
What is your favorite superhero?
You see, now you see, if I say this, my wife will probably kill me, so I'm not going to say what I'm thinking.
However, I'm sure you guys know exactly what he's thinking.
She was actually here, Suicide Squad.
I
I
thought so.
want
I thought
to.
so.
I want to play Joker.
Yeah,
And
with that, yeah, I'm sure everyone wants to play Joker. Every guy wants to play Joker
man
with
alive, man
her.
alive. Yeah.
So would she be your favorite superhero then?
Mhm.
She's actually an anti-hero, but it still
Mhm.
makes sense. Still makes sense. I mean,
Mhm.
superhero,
She's
anti-hero,
the
they're
best
pretty
hero
much all the
ever.
same. Yeah.
No, I must be honest. I love Deadpool,
Oh, me
and
too.
I think you know you have to spend a day in our office. Well, you probably go crazy or whatever. No, you seem cool, so you'll probably not be crazy because you're crazy like us.
Of
But
course.
you know we have so much fun in the office, man.
Mm.
I love going to work every day. I love the
That's
people I
awesome.
work with. We get to the point where you know every office has some sort of thing that goes wrong or whatever, and it
Yeah.
might upset you to a certain degree.
Mm.
Um, you know, and then we'll hey, let's play some Quake 3. And yeah, it's an
That sounds
old
about
school
right.
game, but Quake
It's
3,
one of the
man.
best,
Oh,
man.
what a game! What a game!
Quake
What a
3
game!
is one of the best, I have to admit.
What a
I
game!
loved playing that game when I was 20, somewhere around there. And
Yeah.
I'm giving my age away here, but
Quake
still.
3 was actually the first competitive game that we played at Rage.
That's so
That
awesome.
was the game.
That was
We
the
had
game, yeah.
32 computers in like we thought we were going to be clever and make it like a figure of eight, which landed up being just a weird oval. So we had 16 computers and 16 computers, and then the admin area, admin desk was in the center.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's only 32 computers.
Yeah.
Boy, did we stress. Oh my God, we stressed. How are the
Worrying
servers
about the
going to
network
handle it?
failure, server's gonna bomb.
No, we had lots of network failures, and it was unbelievable. So
Yeah.
the switch that this one bombed out, and it was like, oh God, we got to change it. It was no, we had a lot of stress. But so then we'll stuff it. Everybody just chill, servers up, and
Yeah.
or sometimes we won't even say anything. Because obviously we've got some cool gadgets there and some cool speaker systems.
Yeah.
Um, Especially Michael. Michael's got the best speaker system in the office, and you hear him start do that bah, 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 and the start of Quake. The start of Quake. Then okay, cool, and you
Everyone's
stop.
logging in.
You're busy with with your Excel spreadsheet or that mail the client really needs. Yeah, sorry about the mails I didn't send. Yeah, well, I was busy with a phone call while that was playing Quake. So you stop straight
Yeah.
away, load Quake, and we play.
That is
So
so awesome. Now, that's the
yeah,
kind of work environment I think most
yeah,
geeks want to be
exactly,
in.
exactly.
It's like they software developers, they all want to have that kind of job as well, where they're developing and they're designing programs and
Yeah,
stuff, but the company says, all right, everyone, take a break, go play a game.
that's it.
That's the kind of thing that everyone wants.
Exactly.
I know from personal experience as an IT tech for a long time, we had that at our offices. We're the tech office. We'd set up all of our computers. All of the computers would be set up, and when we get back from work, we'd all sit down and play some games.
Yeah.
Just like chill and relax.
So you guys
So,
still do that?
no, I'm fully into the media now.
Oh, right, right,
I'm
okay.
doing only media now.
Okay,
I've
cool.
actually given up on tech.
Yeah.
I'm not given up like I don't want to do it anymore. Like I don't want to live anymore. I'm like, oh, tech, it's just so sad. I don't do that.
Yeah.
What I mean by giving up is I don't want to work in tech. I want
Yes.
to review tech. I want to take a motherboard and test it out, see
Yes.
what it's like against other motherboards. I
Yes.
want to play the games. I want to review the games. That's the kind
Yeah.
of stuff I like to do
It's
now.
really cool. We had uh, so many clients will send us a phone, for example. It was
Yeah.
here's a perfect example of the most recent thing.
Yeah.
So we got this phone, and we were told by the supplier this thing is military proof, waterproof, 100%.
Military proof.
It's like, yeah,
So it's like safe from military people.
It's got an IP6 rating. So or
Okay.
whatever. It's a military
IP version
grade.
6, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you see, you're more geeky than I am. So yeah, so it's got this grading, right? So
Yeah.
it's cool. So we're like, okay, cool. The next day I came home with a bucket. Didn't tell the wife. Arrived and didn't have a spade or anything, so we used the kitchen spoon and shoveled some sand in there in our kitchen at the office, filled it with water,
Yeah.
just enough to create a really cool mud, and we
Plop the phone in.
plopped it. Not only did we plop the phone in, we actually shoved it in there and worked it around. Then
Jeez,
phoned,
like
then
so,
phoned it,
and it
and,
rang.
and it rang. Okay, it sounded like girdle girdle, but it still did it. Then we chucked it in. We dropped it on the tiles accidentally, from
Accidentally.
from pocket height and whatnot.
Yeah,
And
what you would do if you
yeah,
accidentally drop
so
your phone or
so we
something.
didn't review the phone just for the sake of reviewing. Yes, you do get those products like a motherboard, for example,
Yeah.
and we ooh and ah about it, but you can't drop it, right?
No, no, no.
It's not
It's
designed
not
to do
that
that.
kind of,
But
it's
yeah,
not that kind
so
of piece
you
of
push its
equipment.
limits. But a motherboard, what you'll do to really see what its limits are, you'll overclock it. You'll put,
Yes,
you know,
that's what I would do.
yeah, yeah, and you want to see what its thermals are
Yeah.
and what. Right? So that's what we do, and that whole thing, that whole test of that phone was just a blast, man.
I
Oh,
can
we had so,
imagine.
and that goes with all the products we test. So
Yeah.
that's at NAG, and so that same fun that we have there, that same vibe
Yeah.
there is what we have here.
That's so
Um,
awesome. It really is. It's
yeah.
what I like to see is that it's not just
That
about
passion.
yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
not just about making money, which is what I said earlier. It's not just about making money. It's
Yeah.
actually about entertaining the people that come through
Yeah.
because that the people, and I'm sure the people are what's actually helping Rage get bigger and
Without
bigger and bigger every year.
yeah, without the people, we are absolutely dead in the water.
I
You
mean,
know,
there are people traveling from Cape Town that come up
exactly,
here and they come and
exactly.
see the show.
So there's stories like that where a dad. It happened now, and they're currently at the Call of Duty World War II stand.
Yeah.
And I know this because the dad, 1 o'clock this morning, left Durban, put his two kids in the car, didn't tell them where he's going, where he's taking
Jeez.
them. Just like we off on a bit of a road trip, set them up, and they slept in the car. And when they're around the corner from the dome, he phoned me. don't know from a bar of soap. He
Yeah.
just he just spoke to me like a month or two ago via mail saying, "Listen, I'm going to surprise my kid. Would you mind meeting me at the door and just greeting me at the door?"
Yeah.
That's what he said. He didn't ask like the world from me or whatever.
Yeah.
So I greeted him at the door. I gave him a little special something.
Yeah. No, that's
Um,
awesome.
Please don't send me 400 million emails. But
Yes.
I gave the guy a little bit of a special experience at Rage,
Yes, of
and
course.
because I want that guy, that kid who's now he looks about 7, 8.
Yeah.
Um, I want him to carry this because
Yeah. It's a
the
memory.
youngsters that are here, they're so impressionable,
Yes.
and you want them to have a really good experience.
Of
And
course.
you know, the first couple of rage events, every year I bump into kids who are no longer kids, who are
Yeah.
now married, and they've got their 3, 4, 5-year-old kids with them. The only difference is that I'm getting older, losing more hair.
Well, yeah. No, I know how you feel. Don't worry.
Here we go. Here we go. So, but it's not about that. It's about the passion we have. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter about the age.
No, it doesn't. Of
And
course.
you'll see youngsters, you'll see older guys, and
Yeah.
and it's really cool. We're
You'll
living
see
in
our
a very
cameraman, the really old topic.
well. Yeah.
He's still deep into gaming.
There we go. There we go.
No,
Good
it's true.
cameraman.
It's
That's
true.
yeah. Good cameraman.
My father-in-law has one. Just
There we
happens to
go.
be.
There we go. So don't say anything wrong.
Well, yeah. My wife's busy doing the cosplay judging at the
Oh, there
moment.
we
So
go. There we go.
yeah. So unfortunately, the guys, the fans know they're not
You
going to
know,
see her this
when
weekend.
Doom, here's a story. When Doom 3 launched,
Oh yeah.
my son was 5 days old or 6 days old.
Jeez.
Okay.
Okay.
My wife had to go to work almost straight away after giving birth. Don't worry, I'll look after him. And I had him tightly wrapped up, like super tight.
Yeah.
And I had him on my desk, but like mummy, like this. And I
Yeah.
propped up like a little pillow, and I put his bottle, and I had my ASWD fingers free, keys there, ready, everything like a.
Does your wife
And
know
I played.
this?
Well, I told
Because
her
if
a
you
couple of years
if
later.
she watches this, she's gonna find out.
Yeah, no, I told her. I told her. Yeah, yeah. Um, anyway, so did I tell her? I'm sure I did. Uh, yeah, and then I played Doom 3, and my son was sucking on his bottle, and then every time when a monster would come out the wall and whatnot, pipes breaking, whatnot, my son so he grew up with it. And is it the right thing to have a kid that old
Ask
exposed
him.
to? It's not. But you know what I say? It's like if I was a mechanic, right?
Yes.
And I'm busy fixing my car, or a customer's car, and
Yeah.
I'm a home mechanic.
Yeah.
Okay. Not that I'm no, I shouldn't say Benoni, right? So springs. So anyway, but if I'm fixing my car and I say, hey, no, I don't want to sound right. Here, X, little X, come here, pass me the number 2 spanner or number 8 spanner or whatever,
Yeah.
and it's a toddler crawling under the car. Is it right that a toddler crawls under the car? Hell no.
No,
But
but they're
what is
learning the
what
trade.
is what is worse? Closing that garage door and segregating it,
Or letting the
separating,
child learn.
yeah, or letting that child see that, in a safe environment, he's with his dad or
Yeah.
with his mom or whatever,
I
he's
agree.
experiencing
I
it.
completely
And
agree.
and that's been my vibe. But
No,
yeah.
you sound like an awesome dad. To be
Oh,
honest,
thanks,
you sound
man.
like an awesome dad. I mean, honestly, my father-in-law, he raised my wife exactly the same. So she grew up with games, and that's why she's part of the S. We were talking about obviously how well, I was talking about how fathers raise their kids, and I agree. Look, I'm not a father myself at the moment, but
At the moment.
well, we
Does your
haven't
wife know
been
this?
playing. Oh, we don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyway, it's the same thing with Mark. He raised kids exactly the same.
Yeah.
He raised her to enjoy
Inclusive.
games
Yeah.
and enjoy. Yeah, he included her in all the
Yeah.
games. They went and bought some of the strangest consoles. I mean, I had never heard of a GameCube. I was a PlayStation person
Wow.
myself.
Yeah.
They bought a GameCube rather than a PlayStation 2,
Yes.
and I played on the GameCube, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So
Yeah.
I was surprised.
Yeah.
And he actually bought it for the family and all that. They played games. They had a good time.
Yeah.
She learned how to work with PCs and play on PCs and all of that stuff. And she knows quite a lot about PCs. And I was surprised when I first met her because she's never studied PC or computers in her life. and she knows, she
because she
knew
was
a
exposed to
lot
it.
about PCs,
Yeah,
and she was
that's
exposed to
awesome.
it, and it's
That's
awesome
awesome.
to see that. I like the fact that my
We
wife
need to
is
see
actually
more
like that.
girls in gaming.
We
In
do
fact,
need to see more girls in
we got
gaming.
a
Yeah.
one of the ladies who we're supporting here is a company called she runs a company called Pink
PDP.
IT.
Pink IT. You thought you were talking about PDP because they're
No,
also a
Pink
lady.
Pink IT.
I know
Yeah.
Pink IT. Yeah,
So
yeah,
Mabali from Pink IT.
yeah,
She's Asusa have supported her here at Rage,
yeah,
and it's guys are coming and sitting there and playing a game, awesome game, okay, and you'll sit there and you play, and you'll get a tap on the shoulder going, oh, do you know that that game was coded entirely by females?
yeah.
You're like, what? Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. It's the thing is, I agree with the whole terminology of IT being inclusive. It's not supposed to be excluding people
yeah,
from race, gender, or anything like that.
exactly.
If you're good at what you do it.
Yeah,
That's how I see it.
yeah,
I mean, I like building gaming computers. I'm
yes,
not great at it, but I'm right at it, so
yeah.
I'll do it.
You're loving it. You're passionate
I
about it.
love doing it.
Yeah,
My wife, she's not the gaming, the building gaming computers kind of person. She doesn't like the tech side of things as much as she likes to, screw around with geeky things, like cosplay and comic books and,
yes,
figurines and playing games every once in a while. She loves doing that, and she loves her MMOs.
yes. Okay.
So that's where we get stuck
It's
in.
one thing I could never get involved in is MMO.
MMOs. I love it. I absolutely love it. Getting involved with other players and beating the crap out of them in a game, and then when they rage at you, not
Yeah.
they rage at you,
The
like
keyboard warrior.
ah,
Yeah.
and you're like, dude, take it like a man. You lost.
Yeah. Don't be a keyboard warrior. Yeah.
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 But yeah, it's fun for both of us, and that's why we have so much in common because we're both geeks. We
Yeah.
both love what we do, and
Yeah.
we love doing this. It's the best thing in the world, honestly.
Well,
Um,
we appreciate having you here. I
Oh no,
mean,
thank you for allowing us to be here. Actually, more than anything, because this is our first time here. We've never
really?
been to. Yeah, so we
Wow.
only started at the beginning of the year.
Wow.
So all of the festivals that we're going to, all of the expos that we're going to
Yes.
now, first time, every
Okay.
single time.
No, that's awesome. So you're
So
quite blown away, I hope.
you know what? I've been to Rage before,
Oh,
but
right. Okay.
not
As a journo, yeah?
as journo. And honestly, the way you guys treated journalists, I was surprised. I walked in here and I'm like, this place is like a VIP lounge. So
Yeah.
I was quite
Did you
surprised.
get into the back room yet?
Which back room? I thought that's the only back
Yeah,
room.
that's only for second, third year press guys. Sorry. So prove yourself.
Okay. But anyway, so another geeky question.
Yeah.
I have to throw these at you just because. Favorite video game of all time?
Quake 3. Video game?
Video game of
Quake
all
3.
time.
Quake
Quake
3.
3.
Without
Stop.
it, hands down, Quake 3.
100.
Hands down.
100.
It's
That's
the
brilliant.
go-to game for me.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, and favorite video game of the last 2 years?
Overwatch.
Overwatch. Okay, and favorite video game this year?
PUBG.
PUBG. It's a good choice, actually. I've seen some of the gameplay. I'm
Wow.
keen to actually play it. So
Yeah.
it's looking pretty good.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
know that it's the most played game of all time,
I heard so. I heard so. Yeah.
and it's breaking records every single day.
Yeah, I
Every
know.
day it's breaking
It's
records.
awesome. It
So
really is.
remember, it's not a full release yet.
Yeah, I
This
know.
is
It's
still
only a
beta.
beta.
Yeah. So most played beta game, most sold game on Steam
Yeah.
ever. Most played right now. Most players connected playing.
Yeah.
The list goes on and on.
Yeah.
Most money generated. It's like crazy, crazy,
No, it's
crazy.
really
Was it?
awesome.
Had they got that most money? I would imagine so. I think so. Yeah. Anyway,
Probably,
yeah.
probably. I wouldn't be
But
surprised
there's a good
at
couple of
all.
records that this game
Yeah.
is breaking.
No, you know what? You look at it and you understand why.
You know what I love about the game? You know, you spoke earlier on about Rage, Rage Quit and keyboard warriors and whatnot, and I mentioned that. And you
Well,
see,
we call them keyboard jockeys, but yeah,
yeah,
the same thing.
yeah. So when you play a game like Counter Strike, which is still a cool game, but you
Yeah.
play Counter Strike and like what's happening here at the ESWC World, African Championship, it's
Yeah.
awesome, and the guys are winning amazing cash prizes.
Yeah.
And that's really cool to see that and whatnot. But take that online, and little Johnny doesn't like Joe Soap because Joe Soap is fragging him all the time,
Yeah.
you know, and these cyberbullying. It is a thing.
Yeah,
It is a
it
thing.
is.
Um,
We all get bullied. I know. I've been bullied quite a bit, but I mean,
I wouldn't bully
honestly,
you. I like you.
I just like, you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't bully you. You'd be safe in my house.
No, but I mean, I don't keep a chip on my shoulder.
Yeah,
Honestly, if someone
that's
bullies
good.
me, I'm like,
Yeah, that's good. But
dude,
there's a
just
lot of kids out there
look.
that do
Yes, I know.
stress out about it.
That's why,
Yeah.
and one of the things I like to actually look at is teaching kids to actually, understand that, people are there are people out there like that.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the real world it's not a nice place,
Yeah.
and you're gonna be introduced to those kinds of people.
Yeah.
But you do what I do, and you go, you know what,
Yeah.
not gonna hurt me.
So
Yes,
yeah, so as I was saying, the cool thing about PUBG is that you have no clue who that
yes,
person is. Player
yes,
unknown battlegrounds,
yeah.
and that's what makes it awesome.
No, because then
It removes. There's no chance that Joe
yeah.
Soap can be bullied by XYZ
Yeah, and also
because
there won't be any physical attacks because
yeah,
that's happened before. I know that
yes.
that has happened
So
before,
you
and
don't know
it's hectic.
if you're playing against some guy in Sweden talking French. It's you have no clue,
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
cool.
Yeah.
Apart from the ping, so you have a slower connection than Joe Soap. So, but yeah,
I know I got my ass handed to me yesterday in Battlefield 3 because I was just busy playing some first-person shooters
yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
the fun of it.
Yeah,
And
the better games.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I was busy. I mean, I wasn't doing
Sorry,
badly,
all
but
the MMOs are for the older guys.
well, it's for me too. I like my
I'm
MMOs.
joking. I'm joking.
I am an old guy anyway.
Yeah, yeah, me too.
But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I was playing Battlefield 3 and my ping just suddenly dropped. Now we don't have fiber in our area yet, so you can
Okay.
imagine it just went stop and everyone stops where they are. So I'm busy nailing this dude and I'm shooting him a lot and I'm like, die!
Yeah.
And he wouldn't die.
Yeah. Yeah. That sucks.
And then I realized that I'd lost connection because
Yeah.
everything just stopped.
Yeah.
So I was really annoyed. But, it happens. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. Right, so we're going to get to our last question. I
Yeah.
don't want to keep you any longer than we have to. The last question is what is your favorite geeky movie of all time?
Phew, there's so many, man.
I know, it's the hardest question we have.
So it's gonna sound like the ultimate cliche, I guess, but Star Wars, man. I've got
It's
to.
not a cliche. It's actually, to be honest, if you don't think that it's the ultimate movie
Yeah.
of all times, then you're not a geek.
Yeah, I'd say so. Star Wars, and it's any one of them really,
Yeah.
but Star Wars, um, and then yeah, I have to put maybe a
An
yeah
asterisk next to one of the other ones.
yeah. No, I'm gonna stick with Star Wars. So,
You're gonna stick
that's
with
it.
Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars.
Yeah.
Actually no. Let me say this: Terminator, the
Oh,
Terminator with
Terminator
Arnold.
1 and Terminator 2. My
Yeah,
favorite Terminators ever.
yeah. In fact, I've got this proper like set from the movie where
Jeez,
it's the
like, okay.
helicopter scene with Arnold getting out and his arm is like all shot off and whatnot. So
Jeez, like, that's
yeah,
hectic.
and so yeah, it's
No, that's really
quite a
awesome. Anyway, Len, I'm sure our time is up, so I'm gonna have to. I mean, we talked for a very long time, so it was nice to meet you. I really appreciate you having a chat with us, letting our fans get to know you as
cool.
well. Guys, if you haven't come to Rage this year, then get your asses here next year, because you are gonna die if you don't. Seriously, it is the best. It is the best expo ever, honestly. So, guys, get your butts out here. If not this year, next year. You know how it works. Anyway, guys, remember, keep it geeky. Bye.